Oh my goodness, presented by Wearable Fandom. Welcome to Wear Mighty Things. This is episode number 74, and my name is Dustin, and I am your host. It is wonderful to be back with everybody. And this is, my friends, a podcast all about the Roosevelt's brand and community. If fashion, fandom, and friends sounds like fun, well, then you, my friend, have come to the right place. To receive all of our content notifications, please ring that little bell, click that subscribe button, do all the things that you know you must do that all YouTube creators ask of you. And it's great to be here. We're heading headlong into summer. We're getting close to con season. There's so many amazing things happening. And I am happy today to be joined by my incredible co-host. You never know who you're going to see when you join up with Wear Mighty Things. And tonight, it's my buddy, the captain, coach, co-host, Ron DePody. What's up, Ron? Welcome back to the show.
Hey, buddy, how you doing? It's was a little unexpected and last minute, but we flew through and we are ready to rock and roll tonight.
That's right. Well, it means plenty of time to talk about wrestling, stuff about wrestling, and of course, there was a drop today from the Roosevelts around Jurassic Park. I'm excited to talk about that with you. And man, I just wanted to, before we dive into all of that great stuff, you had a great meetup last week in Denver, and I wanted you to maybe just take us back and tell us what the highlights were for you.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We weren't expecting a big group because Philly was going on at the same time, but it actually worked out that we had a decent sized group, great close knit. A lot of people that were kind of on the fence about if they could come. So we opened up the doors to our home to several. At one point, we had 8 insiders staying at our house with us, along with our family. So we dubbed it Camp DePody. We had several great meetups after the con each day. We had one at a brewery just kind of near where the convention center was that HQ joined us for. We had a barbecue at my house on the Friday night that I think everybody had a blast. We had karaoke going. We had prizes. We had some swag that HQ gave us that was very much appreciated. And then on Saturday, we caught a Rockies Giants game. And unfortunately for your Giants, didn't fare too well for them that night. But they more than made up for it the next night. So yeah, no, it was a great time. For me, the biggest thing was seeing everybody, seeing people interact. At one point during the barbecue, I was kind of sitting back by myself, and I had a couple insiders come up to me and just say, "Hey, are you all right?" And the truth was, I'd kind of stopped drinking, and I was just kind of taking it in and just enjoying seeing all of them enjoy the moment, and that made me the happiest of anything. So, great weekend, and I can tell you, Fan Expo for Denver next year is moving back to the July 4th weekend. They're doing the 2nd through 5th, which is a Friday through Monday next year because the 4th is on a Sunday. Most people, their observed holiday will be the Monday. So they're doing Friday through Monday, and we're gonna dial it back. We're gonna do it again. Already talking to the wife about how we can do it again and do it bigger. And I've already gotten several people who have messaged if they could place reservations for next year. So I'll tell you guys that we will definitely do what we can to help out who we can. The first come, first serve to those who were here this year. And then we'll add on from there. We'll throw some tents out back or whatever we have to do to try and help people out. And even look into some lodging and stuff in the area that maybe we can get some bulk pricing for everybody. But it was awesome. It was so fun. Year 2 of the Denver meetup. And it only gets bigger and better. And we had a blast. And we missed a bunch of people who weren't there with us again this year, especially my boy Gabe, who I know really wanted to be there. Dustin, you still have not made it out to Denver for one of these. So we need to get you out there. I was half expecting a surprise again that maybe you're slow playing on me 2 weeks in a row.
Maybe. I considered it, but yeah, it was just too much. And my better half is out of the country, and so I have a list of honeydew projects to do around the place here, and so they're a lot easier to accomplish when you can kind of just have your own everything can be out and like in, you know how guys work, like you don't want the junk everywhere, but the truth is there's a process, there's a method to the madness. I put that drawer over there so that I could do this thing, that I could do that thing. And, if there's someone else here, it's just a huge mess. So yep. I just decided, hey, I'm going to stay here and work on a few things. And, it's really great though. And I really, the comment that you made about like kicking back and just sort of like taking it in, these are the unrecoverable and unrepeatable moments of our lives. Whether it's this time that you and I are here, the folks that we're gonna reach out to who are here in the chat, right? These are the unrepeatable moments of our lives, and it's always better when you spend those with people that you love, people that you like. And so the fact that you've done this for a couple of years, and it sounds like you plan to sign up for year number 3 as well, and your family, by the way, if you're having people, you're signing the whole family up for it as well. But it's just so much nicer to have those experiences together, and
without a doubt. And I'll tell you, I mean, my wife Megan isn't somebody who's into the brand. She's into the fact that I'm into the brand, and she had a good time. I mean, she made friends with a lot of the people, and like her and Shauna were hanging out and talking, and I mean, they had a great time. She needed to recharge her people battery by the time it was all done, which I totally understood and appreciated. But yeah, her and my kids who helped clean the house, Joel, Xander, and Mackenzie, thank you very much for all that you did to make it happen. It was fun, and we all had a blast. And you're right. It's very much about that to me at this point, the people moments and the moments that you're not going to be able to get back, and not even about buying the shirts or Pixel Mickeys or any of that kind of crap. We made new friends. We made bonds with people who we'd been online with for years and never seen in person. It's something I say a lot. Before Roosevelt's, I always used to think that the online community thing was just kind of a bunch of BS, that you couldn't really be friends with people that you don't really know, kind of thing. And and time and time again over the last several years, I have been proven wrong that when I had that thinking, and I'm so glad that I did. And I'm so glad that I've opened myself up to that. And I'll tell you right now, buddy, whether it's next year for the con or any other time that you want to come out, and I say this to pretty much any insiders, our door is always open. We're just south of Denver. If you're in town, let us know. We'll meet up at a brewery. We'll grab a beer on your way through. If you need a place to crash while you're coming through on a vacation or something, let us know. We'll try and work something out. We're here for the people.
Awesome. I appreciate it. Well, you can most likely catch me showing up with a 501st to when it comes Christmas light time.
Nice. That would be awesome. That would be epic. And us, we'll be doing that. We'll get started on that. Just after Halloween, we'll start putting up the lights, and by Black Friday, we'll turn them on for the season.
Amazing. Well, it's not just you and I here, Ron. We don't know where John is, but we do know where the chat is, and so let's say hello to a few of our friends who are our regulars here. David, hey David, it's great to see you. Welcome back. Danimal's here. What's good, my friend? I want to catch up with you about how the Motor City event went. Hopefully you had a good time. Gary Marlis is here. Gary's one of our favorite insiders and always here to support us. Who's this Ron DePody guy? Oh, you're live in the chat.
He's got to be trolling us. Luckily, Joel's at work, so we won't get any crap from him tonight.
Oh, great. Yeah, when Joel shows up and he starts trolling me, I was like, hey, man.
I wonder where he gets it from.
Yeah, I do wonder. Ron is so awesome for hosting a wonderful event last week. What a giver. Best of the best. Well done, Ron. Very nice comment there, Gary.
Means a lot. Thank you.
I guess what are they calling you? The Depp? You're the Depp. Is that a nickname? Do you have a nickname?
That's a new one. We have been known around here as the DeParty House because we always do throw big barbecues and whatnot. So we got a couple of them out there. But the Depp works.
Who likes to party? We like to party.
Exactly.
I love it. Yeah. Now that's really good. You're definitely going to hear that again. Yeah. The Pody Safe House is what? It's like the Continental in John Wick. That's one. And hello, Ernesto says I'm making sure to be there next year, which sounds like a lot of fun. Well, we've got plenty to talk about. I heard stories about the Philly meetup, so I want to share a few of those that I heard. We want to talk about, of course, all of the drops. There's also a big event happening in Phoenix this week, so we've got some new exclusives to talk about. But before we do, Ron, what are you wearing, my friend?
Well, this one just came in today, and I see my buddy Aaron. I don't want to butcher your last name, buddy, but I might. Aaron Pacino, down there in Florida, sent it to me. This is the Rock and Roll roller coaster, the brand new Muppet Rock and Roll roller coaster exclusive to Hollywood Studios. Wow. Aaron and I met in person on the cruise, and then we've been communicating and friends in the Dub Club, and we made a trade happen with some stuff, and he was gracious enough to send me this beauty, because of course it dropped like a week after we were in Orlando. They couldn't have done that sooner. So I couldn't help but bust it out first thing today. This thing is a thing of beauty. I can't wait to get back down there and get on the ride officially. But thank you, Aaron, for the hookup.
Yeah. Well, I am wearing Roosevelt's Classic in celebration of the Jurassic Park drop. This is Clever Girl. This is one of the first shirts that I bought. I think everybody knows my first shirt was Figure It Out from the San Diego Comic-Con in 2023. Yeah. But one of the shirts I bought right after that was this. This is an evergreen shirt. I've probably seen this shirt on more people who are not insiders but have bought or are wearing a Roosevelt shirt than any other random shirt. Like, this is a kind of an evergreen for them, and I love it. I love these colors. I love that the raptor's kind of hiding in the bushes. Very reminiscent of the
nice,
film.
Sneaky little floral that you can bust out on a Floral Friday. And you're right. I do see it a lot. It's one that not only was it available on the site, and I think they've restocked it a couple times, but it's also been in retail, like at Buc-ee's and whatnot, a couple times, where you were able to pick it up there. So it is something that has gotten in the hands of more people outside of the brand than maybe most shirts typically would.
Yeah, you might think of it more of a common than an exclusive, but I think it's actually one of their best designs. I mean, if we ever find ourselves so bored that we want to think about the top 10 designs all time, I think I would heavily consider waiting and putting this shirt in my top 10 of all time. Do I think it's the best floral? Maybe not the best floral, but it's a pretty iconic shirt. It would be sort of like Bomb Pops. Like, would Bomb Pops be in your top 10 of all time just because of its impact to the brand and to
I mean, that's one. I mean, it's a pretty basic shirt, but it's one when you think about the meaning and stuff behind it. Yeah, it definitely creeps up there. And you're right with the details that are in that Clever Girl. I mean, there's the hat is hidden in there, and like you look and you always seem to find a little detail that you didn't catch the first time around. And I absolutely have it's one of my first ones. I still have to get the shorts. I got to get the shorts, so I have the full tux now that I've become a tux guy. But that is it's a hot shirt. I love wearing it.
Well, I'm glad that you support my choice for the show. It's also the only Jurassic Park shirt I have. I haven't. I mean, I've looked at the shirts from the drop today, but nothing immediately jumped out and said I've got to buy that. Plus, I felt like because of the brand, it's probably stocked pretty deep. So I have a couple minutes to think about it before.
Well, especially on the IPs lately. On the IPs lately, I feel like they've done a much better job of stocking them pretty deep. And you might get one that sells out during a drop, but it's not like, I mean, even a couple months ago where 3 or 4 things might sell out on drop day. It seems like they're getting the numbers back to a better ratio when it comes to the amount of people in the community that are there on drop day and what they've got available.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me, I want to talk a little bit about San Diego Comic-Con, which is coming up next month. It's the next big event for me. But before we transition over to talking about that, I want to echo back some of the stories that I heard from the Philly Fan Expo. Of course, I wasn't there. I wasn't at either. I didn't want to choose between, going to hang out with John or going to hang out with you. I felt that might create hurt feelings one way or the other. So I just chose to stay home and do Honeydew Project, like I mentioned earlier. But John was there. And one of the things that he shared with me over the weekend after the event was the plan and the approach of what they did. Now, this is not the first time that they've been at the Philly Fan Expo, but this year is the 50th anniversary of the movie Rocky's release. It also is the 40th anniversary of Top Gun, but more on that in a minute. Technically, the 40th anniversary of Top Gun happened in May. It was like May 13th, and that makes sense. It's a summer movie.
Yeah.
May 13th, 1986, right? That was the movie that made me want to be a pilot in the Air Force, right?
It made me want to go play with the boys on the beach, some beach volleyball.
No comments. That's good. That's good, Ron. That's good. But the Rocky movie, its release was actually at wintertime. I don't know if you know this. It was like December 3rd, which is my dad's birthday. December 3rd, 1976 was when Rocky was released. And so this is the 50th anniversary of Rocky. The Philly Expo's there. Roosevelt's is there. I'm going to Philly later this year for the Rocky run. And Roosevelt said, you know what? Forget about that, Phantom Traveler. We're going to do something super cool. And so as part of the meetup, what they did was they rented a bus, and people jumped on this bus. It was a tour bus. A lot of people jumped on, and they took people to the Rocky Steps where the statue is. I don't know what building that is. I should know that. But the one that Sylvester Stallone runs up at the end when he's in shape.
Iconic. Yeah.
It's the iconic, getting strong now. And they took everybody there. They gave them a limited edition shirt, and they gave them a pair of those Rocky shorts that have been on the site forever. I don't know if those were super overstocked, but they just gave those to people. And people were able to go and have like the running up the steps kind of experience. But there's something that I want to talk about and just kind of acknowledge that happened that I think no other brand would have done or managed. The response to going out and participating in this was overwhelmingly strong. They rented the bus. That cost money. That cost a lot of money. There were more people than there were seats on the bus, but the Roosevelts didn't want people to be left out. So they started calling Ubers to pick people up in downtown Philly and take them over to this Rocky experience. And I'm like, anybody else would have been, sorry, we're full, you're out of luck. They didn't want that. They wanted people to be able to participate and have that experience. You saw the photo of the family photo in front of the statue, and that was pretty awesome. And I really want to call out the kudos. As much as you hear me complain about the placement of a flower on a shirt or something that I don't like, I also want to acknowledge things that are really good examples of why we support, why we come back here every week for an hour plus to talk about this brand. It's not just about the shirts, it's about the community, but it's also about the relationship with a brand that would make sure that people didn't get left out. And I just thought that was really cool.
It's something I've talked to people about, comparing to other brands. Like, I collect jerseys, I collect shoes, things like that. I am in groups for all of those kind of things. What we have here, you're not going to find anywhere else. And I think a lot of times people forget that the people at HQ and the people working in the company are just people, and things do happen. Are they perfect? No. But 9 times out of 10, they're going to do what they can to get it right. And I'm always very proud of that, and something that I think that they do a great job of. And if they don't get a hold of you now or fix it now, they will later. Where are you going to get that kind of event from any other major company or brand or label? Nike sure as hell isn't going to do that. No major sports team is going to do that. What the interaction that they have with us, the access that they give us to their members of HQ, to their CEO at this point, it's unparalleled when it comes to a different brand. And again, people just need to remember that these are also human beings with lives and families and whatnot. And sometimes things don't work out quite the way you think. But 90% of the time, these guys do what they can to bend over backwards to make it right. And props to them for doing something and getting Ubers and getting everybody there and making everybody still feel welcome, because anybody else would have said there's 70 seats on the bus, and when we hit 70, the rest of you are SOL.
That's right. It would have been a social media artifact and an event that they would have been pushing. Like any other brand, it would have been about 70 people is what we booked for. It's enough for us to feel like we did the right thing. And that wasn't the directions the Roosevelts went. So I want to give them props, when they deserve them.
It's very cool, but I will say this. I was extremely jealous of what they were doing out there because we haven't gotten that kind of support yet in Denver. We had a great crew out here in Denver, had a great time.
Yes.
But I'm already pushing them about how we can make it bigger and better and how we can do something like that where HQ is involved in some sort of bigger event in Denver, because that was amazing. Like the shirts that they were giving out, the shorts they were giving out, the shirt that they had for the meetup, the amount of people. And I know it's an easy way for them to cater out there because there are so many more insiders on the East Coast, in Philly, in DC, in New York and Jersey, who can get to those areas.
Totally.
Colorado, unless you're in Colorado, it's not a quick drive. It's not a quick flight. It's a pain in the butt. And that's one of the reasons why we don't get out to the other cons very easily. So they can make things bigger and better out there very easily. I wanted to see what I can do next year with HQ. Is kind of my challenge to HQ. What can we do next year to make Denver bigger and better and put us on the map as a place to come to for a big Roosevelt's meetup and con?
I've got an idea, Ron. I want to share my idea with you, and I want to tell you the event that I actually want to do. I know this is technically probably bolder, but here's what I want to do, Ron. I'm showing my age a little bit here, but when I was a kid, Mork and Mindy was on. Yes. And this is part of the closing credits of Mork and Mindy was Mindy trying to get Robin Williams off of the top of this goalpost. Ron, I want to recreate this picture with you.
I mean, we'll be able to find a field somewhere and do that. I'm down to try. They probably won't let us on the field at CU Boulder for the Buffs. I mean, I've got some connections. Maybe we can try and figure out a way. As a Ram, as an opponent of the Buffs, I'm willing to also try and sneak in and make it happen. But we'll figure something out.
Well, that sounds like a lot of fun. Just to close out on the Philly topic, after they did the steps, they did the big cool Rocky experience at the statue. They then went to Mix Gym. And they went to the actual filming locations, and you know that's a big thing. Our sister channel, The Fandom Traveler, is a lot about going to film locations, screen tourism, and so the fact that they went to Mix Gym, which very conveniently for the Roosevelts has been turned into a bar. It's a bar now, so we can go drink and do our Mickey impressions. You got no heart, kid. We could just sit there and just cackle on in Burgess Meredith fashion. But yeah, so it's a bar, but it is the actual building and the location where they film. So everybody went over there, and of course the HQ picked up the tab for everybody, and just really good. I just want to give them kudos. But yeah, let's make that Mork and Mindy thing happen. I want to do that. Maybe even if it's not official for HQ, probably take a long time to get 100 people through that.
Yeah, we'll figure something out. I mean, there's plenty of football fields out here. Colorado is growing even when it comes to youth sports and football. We'd be able to do something. We'll definitely brainstorm that. We'll figure out something. One of the things I was running through my head is a possibility too for next year's meetup. And something I really hope that maybe HQ would get behind. I know a few people went off on their own and did it, including Justin and Lexi and Ethan. Casa Bonita. If we could get a huge group at Casa Bonita, I think it would be epic to take a picture in front of that bright pink building, all the South Park lore that's there, how fun of a environment it is. I'd like to get a big gathering at Casa Bonita next year.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, look, let me share my screen here. You've got to I don't want to underestimate our audience because we've got a lot of folks here, but can you talk just a little bit through the history of Casa Bonita?
It's funny because I'm newer to what Casa Bonita is in terms of I didn't know until college when that South Park episode came out that highlighted Casa Bonita, and I was living with Megan, was just my girlfriend at the time, and we had some other roommates, and the episode came on, and they were all from Colorado, and they were laughing their butts off at everything about that episode. And I looked at them and I was like, it's funny, but it's not that funny. And they said, no, it's funny because that's real. And I was like, what do you mean? And they said, yeah, that's a real place downtown. It's like everybody's go-to as a kid. It's like Mexican Disneyland. And sure enough, for my 22nd birthday, they took me there. And I mean, it's just this amazingly cheesy Mexican restaurant that has cliff divers and it has characters and it has puppet shows, and it was epic. The food was actually pretty terrible. The big thing to do is you get like a crepe of margarita that was way too sugary, but at least it was something alcoholic. And then it fell into disrepair in the late 2010s or whatever, and they struggled when COVID happened and they closed. And after some time and some prompting from some people, Matt Stone and Trey Parker from South Park, who were CU Boulder grads, and I think Trey grew up in Colorado. They bought it, renovated it, and reopened it. And it's a little bit more pricey now. The food's a little bit better. I won't say that it's great, but it definitely improved. They definitely get you with the cost because they know it's become a tourist attraction again because they are involved. But it's fun. It's cheesy fun, but it's a lot of fun. And they've thrown in a lot of like little South Park Easter eggs throughout the building and whatnot that like you can find when you're down in one set of caverns. You can hear the Underpants Gnomes singing in the distance, and they come in and out like on shadows on the wall. There's a place where you can take a picture of Eric Cartman, and it looks like you're having dinner, and then the whole sopapillas, please, kind of from that scene. They've got Man Bear Pig from South Park is now one of their costume characters. Yeah,
he's one of the costume characters. Yeah, I was just going to say that.
Characters who walks around and takes pictures. So they've added in some touches like that. It's a lot of fun. It's funny. Matt and Trey both say it's the worst thing they've ever invested in, but they are invested. The big thing is you just need to make reservations ahead of time. And so at some point, like I said, I'd love to get a hold of HQ and see if there's a way that we could get a large reservation for a meetup to happen there. And Danimal, I see that you mentioned the documentary on the renovations is excellent. And you're right. I watched that on Paramount Network. It is great. It's worth the 2 hours of time to watch that and see how they went from thinking that they'd spend maybe $1 million to like they were like 40 million deep or something like that by the time they got done. So this is my goal for next year.
I love it. I am so. I mean, I had heard that they did the renovation. I didn't realize they had Man Bear Pig. And
Man Bear Pig. I've got my picture with them. I'll have to send it to
you. That's so fun. That is so good. Just closing out on the Roosevelt's brand topic, Danimal says they do actually care. Got to talk to John Tremotola, who's one of the co-founders. Gary echoes that as well. John T is awesome, real class of an individual. I absolutely agree. He's very, very, very good guy. Some stranger named Megan DePody says, "Who's Mindy in the Mork and Mindy photo? Are you going to be Mindy? Am I Mindy?"
Well, that's a good question. I think you've got the better hair for it than I do right now. Maybe you're
really.
That was the joke.
You set me up. I'm like, yeah, you set them up. I'll spike them down, baby. Exactly. I'm ready for that. I'm ready.
Yeah, so no, we'll have to put some thought to that, but I don't mind being the Mindy to your Mork.
If it gets is Casa Bonita open in the winter?
It's year round. They also during the summer, like this time of year when people are out here, if you go up in the mountains, the Coney Island hot dog that was part of one of the later seasons actually is a thing up in the mountains. I actually have a friend who owns it. So you can go eat at this giant, it's a giant hot dog that you they hot dogs, and they're just opening up a bar, a tavern as part of it. And so if you look up the South Park Coney Island, that's an actual thing up in the mountains. And through the summer, when it's easier to get up in the mountains, you can actually go and eat at South Park Coney Island.
That's awesome. A lot of people like the a lot of people like the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile. You've seen that vehicle.
Oh yeah,
right.
I've taken my picture a couple times with that. I want to drive it.
What would be your favorite example of like a weird vehicle like that you would like to own?
Oh man, I mean, it's probably not weird, but like the '89 Batmobile was always like my favorite like movie car. Like having that or the Ecto One. The one thing I'll tell you, and it's on my socials right now. Megan had a car accident right before the cruise, and her van has been totaled. So we're trying to find her a new vehicle. One of the things that popped up in our search is that there is a 1994 Ford Explorer here in town that is actually a Jurassic Park Ford Explorer. And so I'm trying to convince Megan that the thing that we need to buy is a Jurassic Park Ford Explorer as her replacement vehicle.
You want a Jurassic Park Ford Explorer?
I would love to own that. She would not, because of the attention that it garners. But right, like it. I am a people person, and I like the attention and whatnot. She is not, and for her, it would probably be torture to have everybody want to see this thing all the time. Me, I would love it. But yeah, that was my thing when she stumbled across that. Now it's the hard press right now to try and get her to want to own a Jurassic Park Ford Explorer.
I think that sounds good. All right, you want me to tell you what mine is?
Yes, of course.
Well, I'm not going to tell you. I'm just going to show you, and then I'll talk about it. It's the Mutts Cuts van from Dumb and Dumber.
That would be amazing.
I have to confess, I had an opportunity to buy this thing.
Oh.
So I think what happened was, like you mentioned the Ecto One. When I lived in Orlando, they would have these cars out. Like they had the Bluesmobile, and they would have the Ecto One, and they would have some of these cars out on display. Just, you could walk up and get your picture taken with them. Mm-hmm. And they had a Mutts Cuts van for sale, and it was for $10,000, and that was an impossible amount of money at the time.
Yeah.
But I really wanted it. I wanted to have, like, the leg, propped up when you put the gas in. I wanted to repeat this jump, where the ears get floppy and just kind of go. Like, this is the one for me. I want the van from Dumb and Dumber, the Mutts Cuts van.
And I'll tell you, as the fandom traveler, and I know you're always looking for places to shoot content when it comes to movies. There were several scenes from that movie that were shot here in Colorado, including the hotel that they use is actually the Stanley Hotel in Estes Park. They shot the exteriors for the hotel were shot in Estes Park, Colorado at the Stanley Hotel.
Isn't the Stanley Hotel famous for another movie?
Well, that is, but it actually has been part of several movies. They definitely got to a point of popularity where people were using it for a lot of things. But obviously known for The Shining, which it wasn't that The Shining was shot there. The Shining miniseries was. The actual Kubrick one was shot in London, and I think the exteriors were in Oregon. But Stephen King stayed at the Stanley Hotel for a night alone, and what happened there is what came out in The Shining. His experiences led to the writing of that book. And then he didn't like the Kubrick version because it went very far away from the book. So in the 90s, he redid it as a TV miniseries, which I always thought was far better. But the TV miniseries, they actually shut down the hotel and shot the whole thing in the hotel. And like I said, since then they've done a couple other movies, but one of them was Dumb and Dumber.
Amazing. Just when I think you couldn't be any dumber, you go and totally redeem yourself. I love that scene. Oh man,
that movie. Heads are falling off. Yeah.
Oh man. Well, let me transition to talking. I'm going to merge these topics about film tourism and San Diego Comic-Con. I'm very, very pleased to announce. I mentioned this actually in one of the Roosevelt's Insiders chats that we have for San Diego Comic-Con. If you're going to Comic-Con and you're not in that and you want to be, reach out to me. I'll get you in there. But I and a couple of friends put in a panel to talk about screen tourism and like how to basically get started if you want to go visit movie locations. And it was accepted. And so we're actually going to be presenting at San Diego Comic-Con. That's a really big deal.
That's really awesome. I'm impressed that you guys pulled that off. That's really pretty epic, man. So congratulations on being able to get that through as a panel. It can't be an easy feat to get. I'm sure there are hundreds, if not thousands, of people trying to propose things to be panels. So the fact you got that through, man, it's gonna be pretty awesome.
I think it will be super fun, and we are hoping, in addition to myself and a couple of other key folks, we're looking to invite the owner of the Goonies house in Astoria, Oregon. Nice. They're a very good friend of the other two panelists that are joining with me. And we might actually have some folks from the Weta workshop in New Zealand who are often at San Diego Comic-Con as well and friends of this group. So it's going to be not just me, yapping. I think, in fact, I'm going to end up being the moderator because there's some very, very deep movie knowledge. But we're going to probably tie this together and see about doing an evening event afterwards. So you may not know this. Now I'm feeling like all about sharing my screen today for some reason. more than any other show. I'm like, yeah, we got to share our screen. Right across the street from where we're going to be presenting is an iconic location. Okay. So I mentioned earlier that it's the 40th anniversary of what you call it, of Top Gun. And there's a reason for that. I mentioned that because this place, the Kansas City Barbecue, which is right across the street in the marina from San Diego Comic-Con, this is the bar where they actually shot the sleazy bar scene.
The Great Balls of Fire scene.
It's the Great Balls of Fire scene, right? So I'm looking to put together a little after our panel. I want to bring everybody over there, and I want to have a little shindig and party. That's something I'm organizing. I might mention it to HQ, but there's a few folks that I'm working with. So if you're going to be there, and this is going to be on Thursday night before it gets really crazy, reach out, let me know. I'll be, of course, telling everybody about it. But yeah, this is the Great Balls of Fire.
Now I'm super jealous that I'm not. I hadn't been. I'm not planning on going. I might have to look into selling some feet pictures to make this happen.
Well, I'll leave that with you, my friend, and I'll leave that with you. So yeah, for sure.
That's epic, man. Congratulations. That's super cool and something I think for you is well deserved, buddy.
Yeah, thank you so much. I've been working. Content creation is not easy, and I hope like you said with HQ, it doesn't always work out. It's not always perfect, but it's been really nice having the support of great folks. Yourself, Gary has been a great supporter. Shauna, who you mentioned before, Shauna Bonner. She's there's just been so many people who have been so friendly and so nice. So you know what? Come have a beer on me. I'm all about that. I can't put you up in San Diego Comic-Con because it's too expensive. But maybe you can get a mouthful of mac and cheese and a beer or something. So we'll work it out. But more on that as we get there. And yes, Danimal comes through and
I'll certainly
pimping ain't easy.
I'll certainly tell you, I totally understand the content creation thing is not easy. And I had a lot of people over the weekend trying to, with my daily fit picks and whatnot, like how do you, how do I start to monetize that or go bigger or whatever? And even just starting to look at it the last few days as I was kind of being pushed by some other insiders about like, you've already started, you just don't know it. It's intimidating. There's a lot to do and a lot to kind of figure out and stuff. And it's something I'm starting to kind of dip my toe in with my daily fits, and I started posting on Insta this week for the first time ever. But it is not an easy thing, and there are a lot of people out there doing it, and so you have to figure out a way to kind of stand out and do something different, right? So
100%.
We'll see what comes.
But even if it doesn't turn into something that gets monetized, documenting your journey is something worthwhile. It's worthwhile not just for other people who are similar to you, but it's worthwhile to your family to see, to be able to show the difference between A and B. Of course, they live with you, and the more you're around people, sometimes you don't notice the change because you're there every day to see it evolving. But when it's a distant in a little bit of time since somebody's seen you, you're like, holy my gosh, look at you.
Well,
completely
that's why
changed.
I've always been somebody who I take a ton of pictures when I'm at things. People think I'm crazy. I mean, even this weekend, I took like 500 pictures at Fan Expo. I do that a lot. I have multiple digital frames in my house that I'm always updating with current pictures. And there's nothing like you're exactly right. Like I can see my kids every day and not notice that they've grown or whatever. But a picture will come up from a year ago and you'll be like, oh damn, like you really have changed in a short period, like ultimately a short period of time. Like there is a lot of change there. You just don't notice it because it's every day. And I think people also don't like, I mean, you and I have been on fitness journeys and it's the same thing. Like we see the same guy in the mirror every day, even though we are losing weight or whatever, and you don't feel like you're getting very far until you see the side-by-side comparison picture to where you were a month ago. And you're like, oh damn, like my face is thinner. Like you got to kind of documenting it is awesome because when you see it for yourself through a different lens, you can see the changes, you can see the growth. And for me, I'm all about holding on to the memories and the people and whatnot. And it's a great way to do that with whether with video or with photos.
Yeah, for sure, man. Well, we want to start talking about some things. The Phoenix Fan Fusion is going on, and there are some exclusives that are happening there. Which includes a Pixel Mickey. We want to talk a little bit about that. But before we do, let's do something fun. Let's do a top 10 list.
Let's roll.
Do you have a top 10 list?
I have a top 10 list that John passed on to me when he told me an hour before the show that he needed me to fill in for him. So
I see.
He messaged me a top 10 list, and actually it's a good one. But I was ill prepared for it, and he just passed on. He's like, "Here's what I was gonna do. Here's your top 10 list.
Here's how I was gonna bust Dustin's balls."
Right,
basically.
Right. And I actually think you'll really like this. I don't know where he got this list from. It came to me as just a photo, but it's the top 10 most iconic cartoon duos. So
top 10 most iconic cartoon duos. Okay. Yeah. I think I can do some of these. Right. First up, I will go with Tom and Jerry.
Tom and Jerry is number 3.
Tom and Jerry is number 3. Okay. Duos. Let me think here. Is Heckle and Jekyll on the list?
Surprisingly, Heckle and Jekyll is not on the list.
Okay. All right. Let me think here. Of course, people think, "Oh, this is easy. This is easy." Well, you're literally put on the spot.
Well, it's the on the spot thing that always gets you because, like, you have it in your head until you're on the spot, and then your mind goes blank.
Yeah. I mean, like when you think about cartoons like The Simpsons, it's an ensemble cast, right? Like, is it Bart and Lisa? Like, I don't think Bart and Lisa would be on there as a duo.
There's no Bart and Lisa on there. No,
they're not really. They're not really, kind of, here's one. Oh, duos. I was going to say Ed, and Eddie, but that's a trio. Let me think here, man. John got me. How about Batman and Robin? Are they on there?
Batman and Robin are not, and even though they've been as cartoon characters, they are not on the list. Probably because they're not thought of as cartoon characters first and foremost.
Yeah, what's so weird is like I think all the cartoons I watched were all like ensemble, like Scooby Doo, Barney and Fred. How about them?
You're on to a couple of those.
Oh, so, Shaggy and Scooby.
Shaggy and Scooby is number 7.
Oh, that's kind of a stretch. Barney and Fred.
Barney and Fred is not. I would have thought. Yeah. In the chat, we've got some suggestions of Ren and Stimpy, Pinky and the Brain, Phineas and Ferb.
Yeah. Any of those? Well, Ren and Stimpy.
No, Ren and Stimpy
not on the list. Ren and Stimpy should be on the list. Like, I mean, come on.
Stimpy, you idiot.
Stimpy.
Gary just got Mickey and Minnie Mouse.
Is that Mickey and Minnie? Are they in there?
Mickey and Minnie are on the list at number 4.
Okay, I like that. I'm gonna go with Bugs and Daffy, although you don't normally think of them. They're rivals, right? You don't think of them as a duo.
There's so many people Bugs could go with. I mean, he was kind of rivals to everybody on that show, but Bugs and Daffy on this list is number 1.
Number one. Come on, over Ren and Stimpy.
Yeah.
No, come on.
Yeah, I didn't say I agreed with all of this list. So
yeah.
And I'll tell you this: out of the 10, there's only one set on here that I have no idea who these names are. But
really,
9 out of 10, I at least know.
Okay, well, I guess I need to expand my thinking into animated features. How about Lilo and Stitch?
No Lilo and Stitch. I would say that most of these are something that you would see on a 30-minute show.
On a 30-minute show. What do we have left?
So you still have 2, 5, 6, 8, 9, and 10.
Well,
so I'll give you a hint on number 2. Okay. It being Pride Month, one of these two characters is often brought up in Pride Month on a show that was very loved in the 90s on Nickelodeon. Still loved, to be honest.
One of these characters is brought up. SpongeBob, Patrick Star.
SpongeBob and Patrick.
Yeah, that was like. Yeah, no, that's number 2. Yeah. That's good.
So you've got 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Okay.
Number 5 is a newer show that is typically on Adult Swim.
Okay. Adult Swim. All right.
It's still airing to this day.
It's still airing to this day.
Yep. New season just started like 2 weeks ago.
No, man, I'm not a big Adult Swim guy anymore. I mean, after Metalocalypse, I kind of stopped. Watching
it. It harkens vibes of one of your favorite movies with Back to the Future.
Oh, Rick and Morty.
Rick and Morty is number 5.
Yeah. Rick and Morty. Morty. Yeah, that's good. Now
I'm gonna skip number 6 because I don't really know who they are, and we'll come back to it. Number 8, good friends with the mouse.
Good friends with the mouse. Chip and Dale.
No,
Donald,
but you're
Donald
on the right.
And Goofy.
You're very hot with that. You got 1 out of the 2 on that.
Donald and Daisy.
Donald and Daisy, they've got as number 8.
BS. Sorry, Walt and crew.
Daisy, I wouldn't put on. I mean, I know who she is. I wouldn't put her on any list of dynamic duos.
That's okay. How about Finn and Jake from Adventure Time?
No, unfortunately not.
Unbelievable.
So number 9, there's actually a feature film coming out here soon that was brought back from the depths of the HBO crisis.
You know what I thought? I thought it was Buzz and Woody. That's what I was gonna say.
That would have been great. No, this is a Warner Brother one. There's a movie starring John Cena that's about to come out, starring these characters.
Is it the Suicide Squad or is it the Peacekeeper? No.
Nope. It's still it's along the lines of Bugs and Daffy.
Okay, so it's a Warner Brothers, John Cena. Roadrunner and Coyote.
Well, Roadrunner and Wile E. Coyote is number 9. Yeah. I would have probably put them higher up there, but the movie Acme is coming out or whatever that is. It's all about Wile E. Coyote suing the Acme.
I think it's a great.
I'm looking forward to that.
No. That one's going to be cool. But I mean, I don't know how these are like. I don't think of they're oppositions. Like, I don't think of course there are cool characters, but like SpongeBob and Patrick are friends. Mickey, Minnie, friends. Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner, not friends. What about Snoopy and Woodstock? Because
Woodstock is not on there. So you're down to number 6, which. Again, I'm not sure. I'm going to have to. I should look up here while you're trying to get number 10. Number 10 goes back to the House of Mouse. I'll say that. And you've mentioned one of their characters' name tonight at one point.
So Goofy. But who's Goofy's bro?
Who are they going to pair him up with?
Pluto?
It is not Pluto. Although I always thought it was funny that one was a talking dog and the other was just a dog.
Do you know the difference? Do you know why?
I don't know why. No.
The difference. Somebody at Disney explained, and I've got this like 15th hand. But Goofy has clothes. That's what Goofy is, a dog, but he's an upright talking dog who has clothes. Having clothes is the difference between Pluto and Goofy.
So this would be like if we took primates and made them our pets, and we wore clothes and they didn't, but we were close enough to be able to see the similarities. But one can talk and walk, and the other one is just a pet.
Yeah.
But so you've got the Goofy part of it. I'll say that his tandem comes from a show in the late 90s and a movie that everybody was super excited that got a drop.
Max? Is it Goofy and Max?
Goofy and
Come on. Yeah. This list sucks. I am not dogging on a Goofy movie. I don't want people to get the wrong, like, oof, 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 oof. It's not Arsenio Hall up here. I like the Goofy movie. The Goofy movie is great. People love that. But Max and Goofy, the 10th best cartoon duo.
I mean, except for
over Ren and Stimpy, not on the list.
The last 5 minutes of a Goofy movie is the only time that Max actually liked his dad. I mean, he hates his dad the entire Goof Troop series, and for 90% of the movie. The fact that they are on this list is kind of funny to me. Yeah. I would have put Pete on there with Goofy before I would have put Max.
Yeah. Well, okay, we got it. And then number 6. Did you
number 6 is anime. It's from Dragon Ball Z, apparently.
Goku and
Ipika,
is that one of them? That's Goku and Sensura. I can't remember anybody else from.
No, it's Goku and Vegeta.
Okay.
Yeah,
we clearly not DBZ fan. Well, I'm an anime guy, but DBZ was one of those Cartoon Network, Adult Swim, kind of things, and I was like, I don't really want to watch that.
So we're gonna blame Madigan on this list. He found it and wanted to put us through that torture.
It's all on him, dude.
Exactly.
All right. All right, well, let's get jamming here. Let's talk some shirts. Let's talk some cons. So this is the overall character that they're taking with them to the Phoenix Fan Fusion.
First of all, let me say, of all the characters they've done, this one might be my favorite because of the cactus head.
Cactus head.
Yeah, this is
He's
hilarious.
A cactus head. I love it. Yeah, it's fun. It's nice, cool little line art, and so they wrote this. They wrote this a couple weeks back, but this is one of the earliest field notes that I've seen in a while, because a lot of times the field notes just show up like a day before. And in the case of that Philly event, I'm a huge Rocky fan. Rocky is my favorite movie. Jaws is my second favorite movie. And not because I think they're the best movies of all time, but because they taught me a lot about storytelling and filmmaking. So I'm a huge fan of both of those movies. If I had known they were going to do that thing, I probably would have tried. I don't know that I would have made it, but I would have tried. And it was like, take it away from me because, I couldn't like call an audible and get there in 0 days.
I agree with you on the turn on that. It's hard to plan when you don't know what the plan is until the day before. And I get that they don't want to release the shirts until the day before.
Yeah.
The Arizona one definitely was a bit earlier in the week. I think they were torturing everybody for Denver and Philly because so many people kept asking where the field notes were, and Scotty even made the joke in a comment at one point. He's like, every time somebody asked for moving it back an hour, and so it ended up happening like midday, Wednesday when Denver opened up on Thursday. So I would love for these to come out a month in advance or whatever, so you can plan around the events. I think they'd get bigger turnout for some of these things if people knew more than, hey, they're just going to be here at this time, but knew what the specifics of the event and the meetups and what were. It's hard to make plans when something that cool shows up 24 hours in advance.
Totally.
We can't all be Martin or Dan and hop a flight at the last minute and be in multiple places within a day and whatnot. And props to those guys for pulling that stuff. But most of us can't pull that.
I mean, it's a small window in most people's lives that they can pull that, if ever. So like even Martin, can't do it forever, but I'm happy too when they just show up everywhere. I think it's super cool. All right, well let's talk about the shirts. They're going to be having a bunch of fun. They've got 3 shirts and then a not so secret shirt. First up, they have the Phoenix, Floral City Phoenix, and it looks like it's got a Diamondback Rattler in it. What do you think of this guy?
I mean, of all the florals so far, and I thought Denver's was pretty awesome with the Blucifer. All the florals so far, this one's. I love rattlesnakes. I love, and so of all the shirts, this was the first one I asked anybody for a possible pickup on. I love it. It's the D-backs colors for the MLB. The snake skin throughout it is pretty awesome. I really dig this shirt.
Yeah.
How about you?
I think it's great. I also especially love the way that it looks like just one giant snake, because there's only one snake head right here, perfectly centered on the pocket. Awesome. Chef's kiss. But the snake's body is kind of like looping around the rest of the entire.
I think if you look like near the arm.
Oh wait, I see him.
Yeah,
over, yeah,
and
I
then
do.
one
I see
way
over
down
there.
at the bottom near the tag.
Never let the facts get in the way of a good story.
But I thought that at first glance too. I thought the same thing. I was like, it makes it look like the snake's kind of wrapped all around.
Yeah, it kind of does.
Which if it was a boa constrictor would have been even better. Like I would love to see that as a Jungle Book. You get like a what's his name? Or whatever. You get him as a just snake scales all over you. That'd be awesome.
Totally. That really cool. So really, really nice, very pretty looking shirt. Very, very cool. Then the Friday exclusive is they're calling it Arizona Retro, which is a nice look at a bunch of different cacti. You've got kind of like these barrel cactuses. You got of course the super familiar, hey, how you doing cactus? That's what I call it. I don't know what it's really called, but it always looks like it's waving at me as I go by. Thoughts, like reactions here.
Sororo, something like that. Yeah. Sororo, yeah. I like the colors on this. It kind of gives the vibes of like, the Native American pottery artwork or like the clay roofs that you get a lot in Arizona and New Mexico. Yeah. Like it definitely has that. Not necessarily a style that I would wear, but I definitely would be interested to hear what those in the area down there think, because I think it definitely flows with the vibes of being in Arizona.
100%. And I'm not going to go without noticing how perfectly matched this pocket is. Holy crap. It's so cool that it's like a large print and it goes right up. I mean, we know that takes effort and time to make sure that, and probably costs a little bit more to be able to make sure that it shows up that way from a quality standpoint. So I want to call that attention to that. But yeah, I like it. It's definitely probably not a one I would wear, but it's nice to see that. Gary's saying, hey, can you show the awesome Roosevelt booth sign from the Denver Expo?
I can. It's actually right up here behind me. Let me grab it.
All right, we'll switch back here.
I did walk away with it this year again, so I've gotten them for the last 2 years, but this was our guy kind of looked like Thing. So it's fun that they're doing this at all the cons. I know the one in Philly looked kind of like Batman. But this is pretty sweet, and I walked away with 2 of them. So I'll tell you that at one of our Colorado Kuno Club meetups soon here in the metro area, we do them like monthly. I will be giving the second one as a giveaway to some other member of our local Denver group, so that we pass that along to some other deserving Roosevelt fan here in the area.
Very cool. Whoops, near. Where are we going? There we go.
And while you're moving on to the next shirt, I will say I got a message from Forrest Davis, who is watching, and said to say what's up to Dustin. So
hey, thanks, Forrest. Great to see you. Really had a fun time hanging with you on the cruise, and thanks for everything that you did to make that cruise really awesome.
Yeah.
See Dark Angel. Hello, Dark Angel. How are you? Nice to see you. Okay, let's keep going on. Then we have the first branded, which is the Twin Suns, which is what it feels like when you're in Phoenix.
Right.
I've been to Phoenix a few times.
This is a very fitting shirt. I like it. That was probably number 2 on my list of asks or wants. I like it. It's a sharp shirt. I will say that they have done a Twin Sun shirt before that's just a full panel of kind of that scene. but I like the kind of muted color here so that it's all just looks like sand, and
Yeah,
we know how much Luke hated that. And
I dig it.
I think that this is a pretty sweet shirt, and for a Star Wars fan, and especially for somebody who lives in the desert, you can hide out there for weeks wearing this thing.
100%. Yep, I agree. And it's also fair to say that this pocket is also perfectly centered. Now, I actually took, I don't know if we've talked about it, but when I was in college, I actually took a class. It was a humanities credit called The Films of George Lucas. And maybe I should save some of this story for later because it was a really cool class. But one of the things that the professor told us, and I was like, it makes sense what you're saying, but only if you believe he knew what he was doing from the beginning, which we're pretty sure he did not. And what the professor said in that class was the fact that there are twin suns on Tatooine is supposed to be symbolism of the fact that Luke has a sibling. Like you're supposed to understand that there's another Skywalker
I've heard that was kind of like the subliminal thing, that they planted in there, initially, so that it would be in your mind, but you wouldn't necessarily put it together. I don't know that I fully believe that he had the foresight to do that. I think he just wanted it to seem hot as hell, but I'll go with it.
And actually, while we're on this subject, it's worth taking a second to kind of just say a few things about the passing of Marcia Lucas, excuse me, who was George Lucas's wife, and by all accounts the savior of Star Wars. Marcia was the Academy Award-winning editor of Star Wars, and supposedly Star Wars was a nightmare. Like there was supposed to be like 400 or 40,000 feet of film just for the Death Star scenes alone. And she, not alone, but she took a team of 2 other people and herself, and they turned it into the movie that we know and love. And to be honest, it was a bummer to learn last week that she passed away. She passed away at 80, but as a fitting kind of tribute to her, in 1977, Star Wars doesn't win for Best Picture. I don't remember if they won for special effects. They probably should have. They won an Oscar for Best Editing. That's the thing that got Star Wars, recognized at their very first Academy Awards.
Who was throwing that around the house for the next several years until Empire came out. Anytime George said he wasn't going to do something, she was like, "Remember who got the Academy Award in this house? You."
Oh, for sure.
Go do that honeydew item right now. I've got this.
Yeah. Get on it, George.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm in the Academy, not you, buddy. Okay, all right. So we've got a couple of fun drops here, and then we'll kind of wrap up. Since the last time that we convened, the Bamboo collection came out, and a lot of people haven't necessarily benefited or had the experience of owning a Bamboo shirt. Bamboo shirt, great. Feels very light. If you, it's a little more expensive because it's a green material to produce, and so it's one of those things right now because people use polyester, which is made from fossil fuels and plastics. So to use bamboo, which is a renewable resource, costs a little bit more. But I'm telling you guys, I have 2 bamboo shirts. I wear them. I wear them fairly regularly in my rotation. They feel great. They're very breathable. They're light. So if you're worried about the fact that this is a bamboo fabric, that should not be a concern for you. Ron, what'd you think of the Bamboo collection?
I'm one of those people who I haven't tried the Bamboo yet, and price point is part of the reason. I'm also somebody who I always wear undershirt under my Kunus or whatever, anything that I wear, to be honest, because once I get out and going and walking and things like that, I sweat, and I'd rather sweat through the t-shirt than whatever I'm wearing. And so the touch and feel thing is more like on sleeves and stuff like that for me, or how it rubs against my neck or face. So I haven't felt the need to really try that and pay that price point. I will say I've heard great things about the line. I need to try one at some point.
I agree.
I thought that they were some pretty cool designs, and the one that really stood out to me was the hummingbird one.
Yes, I knew I liked you.
My grandmother was really, who we just lost earlier this year, was a really big hummingbird person, and if she were still alive today, I would probably buy the shirt either to wear in front of her or buy her one, because she would have loved it. I like the subtleness of it. I like having all the, I like the fact that they made a scene out of it, and it's, the plants and the birds are up, and it's not just a repeating pattern. That one really stood out to me. If I was going to try one right now, that would be the shirt that I get.
I am with you. That was definitely on my list. And Danimal's got a great comment here to supplement my advocacy for the bamboo shirts. It's a linen feel. It does absolutely feel like linen. I'm shocked. I'm like, this is made out of bamboo. Bamboo in Florida is like a invasive species that you can just never seem to get rid of. And don't get rid of it. Turn it into clothing, right? That was one of my faves. I also like this Monte Carlo.
That's
and this was a bamboo short sleeve as well. I like the pattern here, and I thought, it's a nice. I'm big. We sometimes refer to these as Dustin ass shirts, whereas John's are just like being crazy ones. So I thought this one was great. The other thing to note about the bamboo collection that was really cool was the collection of resort shorts. Now I could be out of my depth here a little bit, even though we've looked at this. I don't remember that first of all, these are not these are not the standard trunks that most people are making tuxes out of. These are actually bamboo fabric, and they're resort short, meaning they've got a fly, they've got buttons, they've got belt loops here.
I'm jealous of these. As somebody who hasn't done the bamboo, one thing that I always ask for with the shorts is I'm a guy who I prefer to have a fly. I want them to be like kind of board short or whatever.
Yeah,
pockets and a fly. Seeing these is like, this is what I want for most of our other tuxes. I kind of bummed that only the bamboo is getting this style right now, but it's really cool, and I hope other people caught that and I'll give it a shot.
Totally. Don't want to sleep also on the fact that there's a button on the back pocket.
Even you don't have 2 pockets. On the typical shorts, there's only the one. So
there's one on the performance shorts, and it doesn't have a button. It's got like a rubberized, Roosevelt's logo, which is kind of a nice touch. Yeah. But if you've got something in there and you go swimming with those shorts, or you get in water, there's nothing to kind of keep. But you could put your hotel key or your car keys in there, and do whatever you need to do. If it gets wet, it's no big deal. So that was really cool that they introduced some of those. I will
say, if Madigan had been here, there is one tux there that I thought really jumped out as a John one. That one with the super bright colors and flowers.
This one,
the other one over. That one I was thinking was definitely a John color, kind of bright and crazy, and doesn't necessarily have a point. That was the one I was pegging.
That's funny. I love it. It doesn't have a point. It doesn't have a point. We got Cali Rez, Gabe showing up. What's up, brother? Good to see you. Good to see you. Yeah, this one definitely. This one reminds me a little bit of the Pier 13 shirt, also, which is one of the bamboos that I have. So good on ya. Nice stuff. Are these hats new? These hats were new as well.
Both hats, were new. The 5-panel. I've heard back and forth on them. I've got one 5-panel. I don't notice a huge difference between. But I'm also somebody who wears a different hat every day. Like it might be different if you're wearing it, every day of the year or whatever. But
yeah,
I think they're sharp. My big thing is I don't like white hats because, like I said, I sweat. Yep. And I don't like sweating through white hats. And while hats are more resilient to being put in the washer and stuff in this day and age, you just never know what's going to happen if you do that. So generally, a rule of thumb for me is to stay away from white or light colored hats.
I just wanted to look at the construction here of the hat. These fabric covers basically reinforce the seams of the panels that are used to kind of assemble this. This is like 5 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it has the full front here, and then these just kind of cover up that sew together look. Yep. And then of course, nice interior touch. Do you see the Teddy Roosevelt's logo on inside of the clamp here?
Yeah, that's pretty sweet. They always have nice little touches like this. On the sweat thing, though, I'll give you a tip that one of the insiders gave me at Fan Expo this weekend.
Okay.
It was funny. I don't know who had done it, but somebody had walked by and had dropped a bunch of women's feminine products and on the floor all over it. Like I think it was part of somebody's costume or whatever.
Okay.
So we were making a joke about the fact that there's a pad on the floor behind somebody. And then as we're joking about it, one of the guys, and it was dead serious. He's like, you joke about it, but I actually use those. And we were like, what do you use? He's like, I actually cut them in half and I put them inside my hat because I sweat a lot. And so it gathers up the sweat from his head in the hat so he doesn't stain his hats.
You give that a try and report back, brother.
I was hoping you'd do it because I don't know that I feel comfortable.
That's funny. This is one of those weird times where you're at the grocery store and you're just like,
right? It's like
I'm here on a mission.
The wife sends me down that
my
aisle
wife sent me out here. I need to get this newspaper and this subtly wrapped up box of something that no one can see because it's in a newspaper. Yeah, very, very hilarious shared experience that you and I have here. All right, let's transition over to the Jurassic Park. Now, of course, we talked a little bit about the Clever Girl shirt that I'm wearing. They introduced a bunch of new shirts here, which were pretty iconic. I mean, be honest, we got what 6 new Kunus. You've got trunks for those. You got a T-shirt. You also got boxer briefs, and they actually went and found like Tiki. The one of these is the old Tiki, finds a way. Life finds a way. Yeah. This is a Jurassic Park shirt, but they turned it into boxer briefs, which I thought was kind of cool.
Have you tried the boxer briefs yet?
No, I haven't. I have not.
It's another one. Like I mean, nobody is going to see that part of my matching fit, so I don't know that I need it. I've had several people tell me that they're super comfortable. I would know exactly. Usually, again, it's one of those things where like the price point is like, for one pair of underwear, do I really need to pay that? And especially if I'm only going to wear that when I'm matching my others. I haven't tried it yet. I do need to try a pair. They are fun designs, but I mean, my wife's going to be the only person privileged enough to see that. And whoever responds to the, when you have to give the survey to get the 15% off coupons, I guess I would then have to take a picture of me in my boxer briefs and send that in to get the coupon.
What's interesting is the only brand that I wear, for underwear / briefs is X Officio, which is they make travel underwear that are like designed to be like, they're moisture wicking. They're breathable and they're the kind of thing, they're quick drying. So you can like wash them. If you're on a very, very long trip, you can just wash them in the sink in a hotel. And, of course it's not the same as a washing machine at home, but they will dry very quickly. And then, you're back out and on your business. So I think, it's going to take a lot to get me off of those because those are very expensive underwear I'm talking about. More than twice this price.
And so at least for you're doing what Danimal says, where he says reward your boys. So
what?
Yeah.
Where did he say that?
Danimal in the comments says, reward your boys.
Reward your boys.
You're definitely taking advantage
that's
of
the
that.
name of the podcast.
Yours. Right, I am just to go to Walmart and get the cotton stretchy boxer Fruit of the Loom, Hanes, like I don't need anything special. I spend enough on the rest of the fit that doesn't bother me.
I'm not even asking. That's the name of the episode right there. Reward your boys.
Exactly. That's the winner. I do. And Gabe, I know you want a picture of me in my boxer briefs, so I'll send that privately. I don't think anybody else needs that.
Yeah. So they did Nobody Cares, the Fossil Records, the Clever Girl. I think these are cool. They're fun, but what was your favorite shirt out of all of these?
My favorite was that dark blue one. I can't remember the name of it. That one right there. That
Assets
one.
Out of Containment.
Assets Out of Containment. I was talking with a friend about this earlier. To me, it's like the most original feeling design. A lot of the designs on it on this drop felt like things that you had seen or had in other drops for other IPs. This one felt really original to me. If I were to get one, I think this one would be it. I like the colors. I like the fact that it has the Indominus dinosaur in it, which is new and different to anything else that they've done. But yeah, that one stood out. I didn't get anything. I wanted to pull the trigger on this, especially since I have a lot of points. But I have so many Jurassic Park ones from their previous drops. I just, and so many that I just admittedly liked better than this drop. That if I go back, it'll be for that one. But we've seen the baseball card thing a lot. We've seen the pop art thing a lot, and it just kind of felt a bit repetitive. They just the styles just seemed a bit repetitive to me.
Yeah.
Unlike a tiki, which is kind of made to be that, and like, hey, we got all these different colors tikis and different items. Like those just felt like just kind of thrown together to me. And I don't want to hurt anybody's feelings on it, but it just I like the things that feel more original, and Assets Out of Containment felt very original to me.
Yeah. Is that
and
Forrest design?
Did
he design that one?
I didn't know if he had put that out there yet. The person I was talking to about that design just so happened to end up being Forrest. I was commenting with him on the side, and then he was like, "Oh yeah, that one's mine." And to me, that's something. Props to our boy Forrest. I feel like when he does design something now, you can kind of pick them out of the lineup, because they do tend to feel very edgy and different than a lot of the ones that the guys at HQ are producing, and they kind of stick to a frame and format that is repetitive because they have to pump things out quickly for these IPs and whatnot. And Forrest gets a little bit more time to put them together, and he gets to use his own creativity. And I know he's got some limitations on what they allow him to know or not know.
Sure.
And I think it's an asset for him because he's producing stuff that is way different than anything else on the drop. And I think you see that reward in the fact that his designs have sold out a lot lately. And credit to him for that. So he's a friend, and I'm not just trying to pump him up. I really appreciate what he's doing, and I almost wish that they would give more of their artists kind of that treatment and ability, because a lot of it, like I said, has started to kind of feel repetitive in the way the designs have gone together.
It's fair. They call it glazing. The kids call that glazing. You're glazing Forrest here. That's what you're doing here. But I agree that shirt is outstanding. Since you picked that one, I'm not going to repeat it. I'm actually going to point out a Dustin S shirt here, which was the Past Preserved. And this one's cool because you've got like the mosquito and amber. You've got sort of like the fossilized tracks here. This is a little loud. Not loud is the wrong word to use in Roosevelt's podcast, but it's a little bright, or it's a little red. It's not a good skin tone.
I was wondering what that would look like as more of like a brown or tan kind of background.
Yeah, maybe like a little.
The footprints kind of fade into it a little bit more, and then it really makes the amber stand out.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't know that red was the right color palette for it, but I do like the idea and the design.
Yeah, for sure. Somebody is saying that is the Forest shirt a bamboo? Is this a bamboo shirt? This doesn't say bamboo. What does it says?
I know.
Ian Glaubinger said the Jurassic Park license kept kid sizes out, but they're coming.
I did read that in Insiders today. Somebody.
Oh, what a derp! This literally is a bamboo shirt.
Yours is the bamboo.
Yeah.
Totally
ding, ding.
All right.
Yeah.
It is now a purchasable Dustin shirt. Not only is it the style, but it's also a bamboo shirt for you.
Yes, thank you.
But yeah,
thank you, Aaron. By the way, I also met Aaron on the cruise the year before, and then saw him this year as well. Yeah, I should have known by the price it was bamboo.
Again, the Ian thing. Somebody did reach out on Insiders and complained about the lack of women's and kids, and Ian immediately responded because he was in charge of this drop. He was the art designer behind this drop, and he said, I understand, know that it was a licensing thing on their part. We've worked through it. Kids and women's sizes will be coming. So
awesome.
Didn't give a time frame, and I know that that's a complaint about a lot of these drops is that there's not enough kids, there's not enough women's. I know that they care. I know that they want there to be more. They operate in a way where they don't want stock left on the shelves. And the sad reality is the kids and the women's don't often sell out. And if they have stuff sitting on the shelves and they're not selling out those styles and those sizes in those and have to mark them down or put them in the Black Friday sale, they're just not going to do a lot of them. And so I know that there are some very vocal people in the group wanting those things, but the only way it's going to change is if you get a lot of people to buy them and start selling them out or getting them close to sold out. Right now, that's not happening. So they have to pick and choose. And sadly, I feel like they're in a lose-lose situation with that, because whatever they pick, somebody always says, well, why wasn't this style in it? Or why wasn't this one? And, if they only have one or two of the drop, there's always going to be somebody who wanted one of the other ones. So damned if you do, damned if you don't.
100%. I mean, but in the case where they're working with stuff that's licensed, they can sit on these for a little while. Like, of course, they'd love to blow them out, but they've got some time. Some of these could show up in Universal parks and things like that as well. So,
that's another thing too, that people, and I've seen it at Disney. Like they're very much in control of how much of what sizes they have, and like at Disney, like they don't even sell certain sizes sometimes. Like that's part of the contracts too, is what sizes that they're going to sell. And I'm not privileged to any of that info or don't know all the details. I just know that that's a factor in it. So pointing it all at HQ all the time isn't necessarily the way that it deservedly goes, because there are other cogs in that clock that make it tick.
For sure. I threw up this shirt, the Jurassic Pop t-shirt, because this is the kind of shirt that I want. I want the shirt where the big graphic is on the front, and this is exactly one of those. This looks to me to be, among other inspirations, the Marilyn Monroe, Andy Warhol kind of collage.
The pop collage soup that we've gotten.
The canned soup, exactly.
We had a Jar Jar Pop at one point. I think one thing, and I didn't realize it until somebody else had mentioned in the comments, was on Insiders, what dinosaur is it? And I thought that it was a Velociraptor, but then others thought that it was the T-Rex. And then when I look closer, like, I don't know that I fully 100% know one way or the other, because the Velociraptors have longer, facial, snouts and whatnot, and then like the little sharp claws. This one kind of has like almost a T-Rex head, but the Velociraptor body. So I was a little confused on where we were going with this.
Yeah, well, I think they did a good job here, and I like this overall. I think that the drop was quite good.
You can't go wrong with the property because there is so much to it, right? And so many of us, especially of a certain age, of our age range, 93 when that movie came out is just such a big moment for a lot of us. Seeing that movie, seeing the way that they did the dinosaurs and the stunts and whatnot, the practicality of it, still, like, unlike a lot of things from that time, still holds to this day as something you can watch and is believable.
No, 100% agree. Now, just one last thing before we sign off. Monday coming up, June 8th, is a very special day. It's Ghostbusters Day. It's Ghostbusters Day 2026. If you are in the tri-state area or you happen to be in New York, there are going to be a ton of like meetups throughout the day at the Hook and Ladder fire station, which, Ron, if we ever get you to New York for New York Comic Con, we definitely got to go.
I've been to the fire station once. We had a friend's wedding in Connecticut, and when we went back to go to the airport, I made sure the boys were just young at the time. Mackenzie wasn't even born yet. We stopped and at least took our picture in front of it and all the logos. I would love to go inside. Like that's
very cool.
Badass. Definitely a New York landmark. I'd love to do, if you ever do the Fandom Traveler about Ghostbusters stuff in New York City, I will figure out how to make it happen where I get to tag along with you, because I want to see all the sites in the New York Library and all that stuff and go through that history, because that movie is my number one movie of all time.
Well, it's funny that you say that, because the plans are in right now.
Oh man,
to do that in October. One of my good friends is a very, very famous YouTuber, Mark Walters. He has a channel called Walters World. Have you ever heard of it?
I have, yes.
Yeah. So he's a buddy of mine, and we've been trying to do like a video collab, and he's going to be at New York Comic Con, and he's like, "Hey, I want to do the con, and I want to do a video. Like, let's do a video." And I suggested that we do a Ghostbusters thing. So awesome. you should definitely Start your planning right now.
I will look into it, and I will beg, borrow, and steal, and sell feet pictures and whatever I have to. But I will definitely
sell feet pictures. All right. Well, you heard it here first, folks. Buy Ron's feet pictures. I think that's going to do it here for our amazing John Madigan-less episode. Thanks for chipping in here and joining us, Ron. You're always welcome, of course.
Thanks for having us. I always enjoy it. I'm glad things worked out where I could help out tonight. And while you have something cool going on this weekend, I will say we didn't get to talk wrestling tonight, but if you're in Colorado, Saturday and Sunday, TNA Wrestling is doing double nights of tapings here in Denver. And there is a group of us insiders that will be sitting second row both Saturday and Sunday, which will be shows that air the following Thursday and then the Thursday after that. So watch for us. We'll be wearing our bright wrestling shirts and whatnot so that we stand out. But we'll be at TNA Wrestling at the Western Convention Center Saturday and Sunday.
Are you going to hold up the Roosevelt's Row sign? I know it's a little biting on somebody else's rhyme, but is it the worst?
That was the thing. I didn't know if I should, but there's a good chance that we could do something like that. But we'll make sure that you guys know that we're there.
All right. Well, you know how we sign off here, Ron. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us. It's been a great time, and always remember, wear mighty things. So long, everybody.
So much better in person than like this.
Much better. See you around.